I'm sitting sideways. Let me get myself organized. You get me on an angle today as I'm trying to connect on Facebook live streaming. Let me search for myself some more. It's kind of Facebook is getting fun lately. Well, might have to do this a little differently. Guess I'll just go there. Boot. And there. Oh, perfect. Just put my little self over here. There we go. There we go. Perfect. I like to multi-stream. Well, there's a lot of stuff happening here all over the place. However, either way, welcome once again to a very sacred, fantastic Friday. If you don't know, today the moon is home. The moon is in her home sign, Cancer, her own temple, while the sun is swimming through the season of Pisces, the waters, the cosmic ocean. And together they form a water trine. And this is not loud energy. This is not even push energy. It's not force energy. This is all flow. It's flow. So this is the kind of sky that reminds us that life is not conquered. It is responded to. And Cancer feels, it's a feeler, where Pisces remembers. And when they speak to one another, there's this emotional body that becomes intelligent. So we're in this current right now. And I want to speak to something ancient that really governs this current in a perpetual way, which is the perpetual law of mutual exchange. And what that is it's like nothing in nature only receives and nothing in nature only gives. So the ocean rises and recedes, the moon pulls, but she also releases. The tide moves in and also moves out. So water teaches us what you withhold stagnates. What you overgive is very depleting. And what you circulate sustains. So under this water trine, you really want to ask yourself, where am I over pouring or maybe even liquidating? And where am I blocking the return? And even like, where am I resisting the tide of reciprocity? Because Cancer rules nourishment and Pisces rules surrender. So together they're really kind of asking, are you allowing life to give back to you? It literally is receivership. So this is a sky that recalibrates the emotional economy. So today we're going to be exploring how this water trine moves through your emotional field, your intuition, your subtle body. So we kind of want to sit in that current. But before we look at the 4 pillars chart, we also need to honor the water, because when water is this strong in the sky, then the chart becomes emotional architecture. And if your natal moon, I did this, but I'm going to tell you, I really don't love it, but it is what it is, right? The moon, let's see, Cancer, there you are. The moon in Cancer, and yes, I'm getting over a cold. But if your natal moon is in Cancer, this energy really hits home. So this is not just a trine. It really is restoration. I think it's what I'm going through, a little restoration, an emotional restoration. Yeah, probably, because I hardly ever have energetic hiccups. So I'm going to say, yeah, this is one of them. However, I want to get back to the Cancer moon, the restoration. So your emotional body knows what to do under the skies like this. And remember, we are preparing for this blend of water and fire in 2026, the elemental energies. And water teaches us circulation, where fire teaches ignition. It's the igniting. But first, we must learn how to receive. So as we crack open a universal secret that most people trip over because they're trying to hold instead of flow, that's where we're talking about the law of mutual exchange. So if your health feels stagnant or your bank account feels frozen, even your relationships feeling a little draining, you likely have a clog in your exchange rate. So, what we want to do is clear it. And as you all know, or maybe you don't know, energy cannot be created or destroyed, it must move. So, the law of mutual exchange states that for everything received, something must be given. So, it's a vacuum. It's a typhoon, if you will. I'm thinking of like a hurricane or a tornado, actually. So the perpetual law of exchange, I believe I got you right there. Oh, identity shifting. Well, you get the idea. Let's go over here. I'm just kind of all over today because I'm sitting sideways. There we go. The perpetual law of mutual exchange. So if you want something to come in, you have to create space by giving something out. So this is not about transactional living. It literally is about decluttering in a way, and it's about alignment. So think of it somewhat like a battery. A battery will only work if there is a circuit. If there's no circuit, then there's no power. So in health, we have the exchange of the body. We cannot ask our bodies for high octave energy if we aren't giving it high grade fuel or even rest. So this is a broken exchange. So if you're demanding 100% output while only giving 10% input, the mutual exchange with your physical temple, this means honoring your cells so that they honor your soul's mission. It has to be in alignment. So for myself, my body's telling me it's time to take a breath and a pause, just with a cold. Just go hang out and chill with some chicken noodle soup and a movie. Just saying. So wealth, the exchange of value. So money is literally called currency because it needs to current. It needs to flow. And wealth is the reward for the value you exchange with the world, the currency being in flow. So if you're hoarding your gifts or even afraid to invest in yourself, which a lot of people invest in others, but don't invest in themselves. And what's happening is you're telling the universe the flow stops with you. So to increase your wealth, you must increase the value of your own personal exchange. And finally, relationships, because it's always health, wealth, relationships in a divination or where we have our energetic hiccups. So the exchange of presence, like presence, not a present, but presence. So this is where we see the most leaks. You have to ask yourself, am I an overgiver or a constant taker? I'm telling you, most people are overgivers and they don't know how to be in receivership. So constant takers, not so much. But either way, both of those break the law. And true intimacy is a perpetual loop of mutual honor. So when you give presence, you receive depth. And when you give boundaries, you receive respect. So this is exactly why I am deep inside a masterclass project right now. I'm looking at where women specifically get stuck in this exchange, while at the same time trying to live their soul's purpose. So why does the circuit break? Inside Master Manifest University, there is a quiz to help you remove your blocks. We all have them, energetic blocks or physical blocks. They generally started in our childhood, our childlike wonder stage. But the link to join MMU is in the show notes. So let's get our energy back into the black. And before we move into my other part of the show, the elementals. The elementals this week are about the Virgo full moon lunar eclipse. However, I'm going to show you a little clip for the Cancer natal moons during Pisces season. And then when I return, we'll talk about the elementals for this lunar eclipse. The fire, horse year, hello, plus period 9, which is also fire. So there's a lot of fire happening and the undercurrents that most people probably don't actually know. Pisces season moon medicine for the Cancer natal moons. This is a water returning to water, the deepest homecoming, I would say, of all. If your natal moon is in Cancer, water homecoming. Pisces season feels familiar to Cancer moons, not loud, not rushed, not demanding. It feels like coming home to yourself. If your natal moon is in Cancer, your emotional body already speaks the language of water, feeling, memory, intuition, and care. So Pisces season doesn't overwhelm you, it holds you. So this moon for you could feel during this season emotionally open and receptive, deeply intuitive, more nostalgic or reflective. You could be sensitive to subtle emotional shifts. It's your sacral. You could be more drawn inward towards rest and home, compassionate without effort, emotionally validated rather than guarded. You might soften your shell. You may even feel less defensive than usual, less armored. So more willing to feel because the environment feels safe enough to actually do that. So this is water recognizing water. What Pisces season is teaching Cancer moons? Pisces season is teaching you that softness is not vulnerability, it's strength. You don't need to protect your heart from everything. Intuition deepens when emotions are honored, and compassion can flow without depletion. Emotional truth doesn't need justification. So this is a season when your moon remembers that feeling deeply is a gift, not something to manage or explain. So moon medicine for Pisces season is emotional nourishment. What does that look like? What does that mean? Create emotional safety in your environment and really allow yourself to rest without guilt, honor memories without clinging to them. Let intuition guide small daily choices and express your feelings just gently and openly without urgency. Offer care, but not at your own expense. So this is a very powerful season for emotional healing, inner child work, ancestral memory release, deep rest and restoration, reconnecting with spiritual comfort. So Pisces season reminds Cancer moons that you are allowed to receive the care that you give. And insight for you, very important. If emotions feel fuller or closer to the surface, that doesn't mean you're regressing. It means you're settling into truth. Pisces season doesn't flood Cancer moons. It creates a container for feeling the feels. So let yourself be held. And a moon mantra for you, opposing screen. There we go. I am safe to feel deeply. I am nourished by my emotions and allow them to nourish you. If you've been craving softness, quiet connection, or even emotional reassurance, Pisces season is your moon's reminder that home lives inside you. So rest there. Sustain yourself is what I sense. What? Brew. Wow, I should get rid of that. But either way, if you want to see a clip of your natal moon sign during Pisces season, the moon forecast on YouTube is where you can find those. So back to the Virgo full lunar eclipse. This exposes and purifies. It also releases. Because it's an eclipse, this becomes karmic, not casual. So we've got a yang fire rat of a day, a yang metal tiger month and hour, and a yang fire horse year. So this is a chart of fire contained by water, sharpened by metal, and activated by the tiger plus the horse momentum. Tiger is the birth of fire, the horse is fire. The hour of the dog, it's going to get insane as well. It's called a fire trine. But the day master being yang fire, that is sun fire. It is the sun. So yang fire during an eclipse is not gentle. It's illumination under pressure. So with a full moon plus eclipse, what does that mean? What does that sense? What do you feel? What's the temperature? This is culmination exposure, emotional climax, karmic adjustment, correction of imbalance. So yang fire reveals what cannot continue. And rat under the fire in the day branch fire sitting on water at a full moon. So this becomes emotional truth surfacing, like coming up through the surface. Suppressed feelings are rising, hidden fatigue becomes visible, burned out patterns are going to be exposed. So this is not dreamy Pisces reflection. This is, where have I been shining beyond my emotional capacity? So this Virgo full moon, it's demanding honesty, the metal, about energy output or around that. With the double yang metal tiger in the month and the hour, metal cuts, tiger initiates, but yang metal is surgical clarity. And during an eclipse, metal becomes refinement, removal, editing, pruning, boundary restoration. And Virgo energy absolutely loves this. So this makes precision eclipse energy. So this eclipse is about correcting inefficiency, removing excess fire, reorganizing how you spend your energy, especially in a young fire horse year. Now this becomes important. Being in a fire horse year, that means acceleration is available, but the eclipse is saying, not like that. And the Virgo full moon eclipse is correcting this reckless fire. It's saying, or it's invoking, it's asking us to streamline our movement and focus our output, stop leaking your energy, eliminate what is sustainable, because the fire horse moves, but Virgo refines that movement. And then bring in period 9, which is a 20-year cycle, plus the eclipse. Period 9 is equal to the fire era in Chinese metaphysics, and the eclipse is fire under scrutiny. So in a fire era, you cannot fake the alignment. So this eclipse is going to magnify all the things: performance versus authenticity, hustle versus sustainability, ambition versus integrity. So this is not about dimming your light. It's about making your light efficient. So this Virgo full lunar eclipse, it's not dissolving us, it's correcting us. And the yang fire is revealing where we're overextended. The double yang metal is cutting what no longer fits. And in a fire horse year, movement must become sustainable. So Virgo doesn't ask you, myself, or anyone to be smaller. It's asking us to be precise. This is precision. Virgo's an energy of metal in the season. But the fire horse then becomes not ignition, but recalibration. So before the fire horse accelerates you forward, this eclipse ensures your structure can handle the speed. So this is not chaotic eclipse, it is a clarifying one. And Virgo is refining, the metal is cutting, fire is revealing. And in the fire era, period 9, only what is aligned survives amplification. So let the eclipse remove what exhausts you and let the fire horse carry what remains. Because an eclipse does not hit everyone in the same way. We do have strong fire, strong metal, water in the rat, wood in the tiger. So this Virgo eclipse energy is about precision, correction, refinement. So this eclipse is corrective, not chaotic. So I do want to map it out a little clearly. Most impacted day masters. And the day masters, the energy we all come back to. If you don't know your day master or you're curious, you just can look it up. We all have one. They're different on the seasons and the month. But a yang fire, that's your day master. That's direct confrontation. So this is the energy of the chart itself. And if you have a yang fire day master, yang fire people are going to feel identity, recalibration, exposure, overextension, and literally the truth about where performing or where they're not performing versus what they're embodying. So energy leaks become very obvious because for you, the fire horse year, the entire year, is amplifying you. But this eclipse is going to expose, the metal is going to refine. So this is like a grow up, not a glow up, a grow up your fire moment. And if it's aligned, it will move you into a major breakthrough. If misaligned, you're going to have an ego correction. After you have a yin fire day master, different than yang, this is a nervous system check. Yin fire is the candle flame, where yang fire is the sun. So for you, this eclipse is saying, like, where are you burning too quietly? Where are you exhausted? Where have you given too much? It goes back to the perpetual law of mutual exchange. But the double yang metal, that feels intense to your yin fire energy. So you must literally simplify, prioritize, conserve your energy. There could be huge health plus emotional reset potential for you here with this frequency. If you have a wood day master, yin or yang, the tree or the grass. Why? Because metal controls wood. And having double yang metal tiger for you means there's going to be a lot of pruning, cutting excess growth, forced clarity. So wood day masters may feel more discipline imposed, like you need to be more disciplined. Your growth could be slow because you're pruning. There could be some redirection of your creative energy. So this eclipse helps wood frequencies, day masters, yin or yang. It's going to help you mature, refine your strategy, stop scattering. Painful but productive. Moderately impacted are going to be the yang or yin metal day masters, because metal's amplified. So this eclipse strengthens metal people. Virgo's also in the season of the fall, which is also part of metal. That's part of the reason. So you may feel or have more clarity, decisiveness, authority, sharp truth. But the shadow side, the diplomatic shadow side, Virgo, becoming too rigid, hypercritical, emotionally detached. Virgo energy can make metal overly precise, so balance is key. If you have a water day masters, yin or yang, water controls fire, but here fire is strong. It's strong for a few reasons. Period 9 plus the year of fire. We're birthing from wood into fire season. So water people will feel emotionally have that emotions rising to the surface, the truth of the emotional. It's like emotional clarity about where you've been drained, decision fatigue clearing and cleansing. So this eclipse may show you where you're over carrying emotional responsibility. It's a lot less harsh than for fire or wood, but it's still revealing nonetheless. And the least impacted are going to be the earth day masters, the mountain or the soil, yang or yin, because earth produces metal. So earth is feeding this eclipse. So earth people, if you have an earth day master or lots of earth frequency in your chart, you may feel increased responsibility, structural adjustment, but really focus on foundations. You're not being attacked. You're just being asked to stabilize, to contain, support the correct process, support or even correct the process. It's in the correction. So this is a quiet restructuring phase for you if you have an Earth Day Master. So who's going to feel this the most intensely? Obviously, Yang Fire. In the middle would be Wood Day Masters. And the very least is going to be Earth. So this eclipse is going to hit fire and wood the strongest. Fire because identity is being recalibrated. Wood because growth is being refined. Metal's going to gain clarity. Water gains emotional truth. And the earth is going to be restructuring quietly or in the background. But remember, as always, eclipses don't punish, they correct the trajectory. And in a fire horse year, fire day masters are being shaped into leaders who can sustain movement. This is going to be all year long. Where wood day masters are being pruned so they can grow stronger. And metal is being handed the blade of discernment in this case. And period 9, that's equaling the fire era that we're in. And this fire era is equal to amplification. Eclipse is equal to the correction. So this becomes amplified correction in period 9, where misalignment doesn't quietly fade. It's going to become obvious. So Virgo plus the eclipse plus metal are tightening your systems, removing excess, refining your output. Stop wasting fire, basically. So this is not about being seen more. It's about being aligned enough to handle being seen. And knowing that we're in a fire era and fire amplifies whatever we embody, whatever it touches, this Virgo eclipse isn't dimming your light. It's refining it so amplification doesn't burn you. And the fire horse does not just move fast in a fire era, it moves clean. So this Virgo lunar eclipse is not here to overwhelm us. It's here to refine us. And the yang fire reveals where we're overextended. And having a double yang metal, this cuts away what no longer fits. And again, back to the fire era, only what is aligned can sustain amplification. So this is not about dimming your light. It's about cleaning the lens, a lens cleanse. And the fire horse does not move recklessly during period 9. It moves cleanly. So let's just say this eclipse, or allow this eclipse to remove what exhausts you and let it clarify where your energy belongs. And let it sharpen your truth, your authenticity, integrity. And now, if you're not new here, instead of interpreting the sky alone, we're going to be asking the ancestors, the Cowry Shells. We want to see what the Cowry Shells reveal about what's being refined in the field. If you're new here, I do Cowry Shell divinations, many ones at the end of my show. All you have to do is comment the year and the month of birth, and then I just tune in and move the shells. Quick little break, and when we return, we'll check out the divinations. A little mini clip.
Are you standing at a crossroads, seeking clarity amidst life's uncertainties? Do you yearn for a deeper understanding of your purpose, your challenges, and the unseen forces at play in your life? For generations, the Dagara people of West Africa have turned to their cowrie shells for profound wisdom and guidance. These ancient tools, imbued with the spirit of the ancestors, offer a unique pathway to self-discovery and destiny. Through a personalized cowrie shell divination, we can uncover hidden truths, identify blockages, and illuminate the path forward. Whether you seek guidance on relationships, career, health, or your spiritual journey, the cowries hold the answers you seek. It's time to step into your power to embrace the wisdom that awaits you. Visit tanyad.tv/sessions to book your transformative cowrie shell divination today. Your journey to clarity begins here.
Alrighty, and we are back for a little mini divination. If you don't know, cowrie shell divination is an art brought to the West by Malidoma Somé. I am a certified cowrie shell diviner in his lineage, his medicine. People basically come to me when they're having or experiencing an energetic hiccup, forces of adversity, whether it's health, wealth, or relationships. You're basically, you're at a crossroads and you need some guidance. And in the cowrie shell, we always go to the world of spirit, the ancestors, to make sure whatever choice that's in front of us is in alignment with the world of spirit. So, in order for me to move the shells on your behalf, all you have to do is comment your year of birth and your month, and then I'll move the shells on your behalf and see what comes through. So I see Betty, Eddie, and Teresa. I don't know if you're still watching, but I do see that. So again, all you have to do is comment if you're curious. But either way, just being here, that works as well for the water season here. So yeah, we'll wait a few minutes. I'll see if I got my poppy. And yeah, we'll put that out of the way. There we go. If anyone's interested, I always like to wait a few minutes. At the end of this show, this is what we do. And of course, if you ever want a private divination, I always like to bring in your personal BaZi 4 pillars chart. I prescribe rituals as medicine off both your Elemental chart, the year you're in, plus whatever comes through the shells to address the forces of adversity or disturbances in your field. So, whatever's revealed in the shells um, can come out and be cleared, basically, and settle and gently where it needs to be settled. So, and just release what's not yours and just carry this wisdom aligned forward. So, just know energetically, if we don't get anybody typing in here, we've been kind of quiet lately. But just know you are not stuck, you are not behind. You're literally one identity shift away. An identity must shift before reality does. So if you're ready to interrupt the person of you that's been delaying your becoming, join Master Manifest University. Remove your blocks. I highly recommend before you shift your identity. That's kind of where we're moving, an energetic shift. So I highly recommend that. So, since we don't have anyone tuning in, just, may whatever came through be clean, whatever lands with grace, and only what stays strengthens who you are. And just remember, you're only one identity shift away. Ashe, and I will see you next week. Oh, that's funny.